Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Tametsi. We're going to do puzzle 100 today. It's hard to believe it's been so long, huh? Uh-oh. I remember a knot puzzle like this before, but it only had 2 colors. This one has 4 colors, but a very similar shape. I imagine this is not going to be an easy one. I had trouble with the last knot. But I remember learning that the spaces right before a corner are useful. I forget if that means this or this. Where do we start? So like this too? No, not really. Like, I have at most one of these, therefore at least one of these two, but that's not... Oh. Yeah, at least one of those two. And also at least 2 of this kind of group of 5, but... But that's not very helpful, I don't think. Here's a 4 next to a 2, and a 2 next to a 1. I guess these are something. Maybe this 1's a good starting place. We have at most 1 here, so at least 1 here. We have also at most 1 here. I guess that's a weaker constraint though, right? So I don't even have to write it in. It's dominated by the constraint of at most 1 in these 3. Which means I have at least 1 in this area. Which means for this 2, at most 1 of these, which sort of bothers these 4s, doesn't it? I know there's at least 3 in this area for this 4. Which means for this 4, there's at most 1 here. So for this 3, there are at least 2 here. And with at least 1 here, that finishes this 3. There are no mines here or here. One here, so 1 here, which means at least 2... No, exactly 2 here, right? No. At least 2, because the 2's mine could be up here, which wouldn't touch the 3, so at least 2. Okay. But we can now, I think, go back up and turn these at most into exactly's, basically, right? If there are 2 here, there must be exactly 1 here, so exactly 3, exactly 1. Yeah, let's just draw it all fresh. There's 2 here, which means 1 here. And maybe this will affect the 4, I don't know. Not quite. A little. Which means there are 3 in this area, which means 1 here for this 4, which means 1 here for this 2, which means 1 here for this 2, so this 1 is finished. No mines here or here or here. And now we can simplify this a little bit to just be like so. Oh. And that helps with these 4s, doesn't it? It resolves this whole grid area, right? If there's 1 here and 1 here, which, yes, that's true, and also 1 here, this 4 needs 2 mines here and here. And now, we can erase this 3 and just leave it as a line there. Okay, cool. And I think we can do something with this 3. Yeah, there's 1 here, which means 1 here for this 2. This 3 needs 2 more mines, and they must be here. Now we have a 0. Oh. Excuse me? What did I get wrong? Oh! Dang it. Alright, this is still an A. The problem is that I said this one touches these two squares, but it also touches this one. So actually, we had one here, like so, which meant one here, which means at least one here, but maybe... Does it even mean that? Yeah. There's one here and maybe one here, but maybe not. So there's at least one here, which means at most one in this area. So this 3 does have 2 mines here. And now that we have exactly 1 mine here, we can in fact improve these restraints to be exactlies. And I think work backwards from there, right? There's 1 in this area. So for this 2, 1 in this area. And we have exactly one of these two, right? And if we have exactly one of these, oh, hang on, this should go like that area. This is still a mine, or a potential space. So if there's exactly one in this area, as there is there exactly one here? Am I wrong? Or could there be 2? Well, okay, let's do something easier right now. This 4 by this 1, we go like that. Yeah, and now this 1... Is that right? It can have at most 1 mine in this whole area. Yeah, so it needs 3 here. But we can't actually take that further up. Oh, there's a 5 over here with just 5 neighbors. It's been there a while. Now this 1 and this 1, we have 1 here, so nothing here. 1 of these, therefore 1 of these, therefore 1 of these, therefore 1 of these, therefore 3 here, and well, I guess I have better ways of writing 2. Therefore 2 here. Okay. Do I have any useful color clues yet? I don't think so. There's still quite a lot of every color on the board. The B's are a little bit restricted, but nothing serious. This 1, I can't use it to figure out this square, I don't think. Oh, but this 1, 2, 3 pattern, no, because this again, right? There might or might not be a mine here. And so there's either 1 or 2 mines here. If there were 1, I could say that these need to both be mines, but I can't. I suppose I also know exactly one of these 3 from this 1 and this 2. But that doesn't look very useful. Oh, and there's 3 next to this too. Look. There's at most 2 in this kind of area, which means there's at least 1 up here, which finishes this 1 off. We have a mine here and here from those 1s, and now these 0s have gone off. Nope. What? Why not? How was any of this wrong? Like, I'll click it again. What? I have a false conclusion in here somewhere? Like, there's definitely 2 there, and therefore 1 there. And 2 here. And this 2 next to this 1 needs a mine there. What? Like... Oh, Oh, maybe this marking was wrong. How did I come up with this? Ugh, I like kind of need to restart this one. I've gained so much ill-gotten information. And we're only 10 minutes in. Yeah, I can't unwind this one back to find a real solution. I lost track of where I went wrong. And I don't remember everything that I've found out on the way, so we're going to have to rederive some stuff. This 2, 1, 2, was that useful somehow? Well, okay, we can start with what we found just a minute ago. This 3 definitely can have at most 2 here, so it has at least 1 here. So this 1, we can do that much, right? Now these 2 2s we get here. This 1 has to go there, so this is a 0 now. That's a 0. That's a 1. This is a 1. That 1 goes there. There was something interesting here, I recall, right? At most 1 here means at least 1 here. Ooh, that doesn't seem very good. It doesn't seem very useful, rather. Oh, right, this 5 has only 5 neighbors. That's something to do. Oh, I think I started with this 4 next to the 2, didn't I? There can be only 2 in this area, so the 4's other 2 mines must be here. There's really no other spaces you can see, so that's true. And now that the 2 mines are here, this 2 is finished and we can go up here. And there's at most 1 here, which means at least 1 here, which means at most 1 here, and at least 1 here, and at most 1 here, and at least 2 here. So at most 1 of these for this 3. So to finish this 2, we put a mine here and work back up. Well, let's resolve some local stuff first, I guess. Right, we have 2 in this area, which means 1 here. Doesn't seem to do much. Okay, fair enough. Get out of here so I can click on my, yeah. Now that we have exactly 2 here, there's exactly 1 here, which means for this 2, exactly 1 here, for this 2, 1 here, for this 2, 1 here. Well, for both of these 2's really, 1 here. For this 2, 1 here, resolving this 1, right? Right. These 2's don't really do anything, I don't think. This 1 puts 2 mines here, but who cares? Ah, these 2 1s. We have 1 mine here, so there's no mine there. Okay. Now we have 1 mine here, so 1 here. So for this 2, there's 1 in this area. For this 2, there's 1 here. For this 4, there must be 3 in this area. And for this 5, there's 2 here. Okay. Okay, I think this isn't a mine, right? We have 1 here, which means for this 2, 1 here. So for this 3, 2 here, and that finishes this 2. That's not a mine. A 1's pretty exciting, right? It's next to a 3. There's 1 mine here, so the 3 needs mines there and there. Now this is not true, of course. There's only 1 in this space now. I don't think I can do these 1s yet. Okay, so there's 1 here, which means for this 4, we need 3 here, which in particular means at least 1 of these 2. So there's at most 1 here. Therefore, at least 1 of these 3 doesn't help. I just get at most 1 of this mine. Oh, this 2 across from this 4, we have exactly 2 in this area, so there must be exactly 2 in this area, right? I can't really draw, there we go, 2. But only 1 of them can be in this area because of this 2 across from this 3. So the second one has to be there. And that should tell me something else, right? Because I used some at most and at least to get there. So there should be like a parallel, a dual argument somewhere. I guess I need to erase some of the markings in this area now. So I still know that there's 2 here. Yes. There's 2 here, which means for this 3, 1 here. But if there's 1 in these 2 and 1 in these 3, it can't be this one. There we go. Why do I have this triangle here? It's correct. Yeah, okay. It comes from over here, right? Yes, from this 1 and this 4, it propagated all the way out here. 3, at least 1, at most 1. Oh, it's not correct. It should say at least 1. But we can also say 1 here, right? Which means at most 1 of these two for this 2. Doesn't seem to help. Yeah. But I should strive to leave correct markings on the board. Something weird's going on here, isn't it, with these 3s? If I have 2 here, I do have 1 here, that's fine, but how do I get this 1 here? Does it come from all the way over here? There's 1 of these, 3, therefore 1 of these, 2. Therefore, for this 2, 1 of these, 3. For this 2, 1 of these, 2. It does. Okay, but it seems like the constraints I have on these 2s and these 3s should do something, shouldn't they? I mean, they've already done something, but I feel like they should do more. Okay, I mean, for what it's worth, we have 1 here and 1 here. Which means at least 2 here. But, like, there's 2 here. What about this 2? It's kind of neighboring with this 2 in sort of surprising ways, I feel like. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Because if there's 2 in this area, then... Oh, no, it's not. Shoot. If there's 2 in this area, then at least 1 of those is touching this 2, right? And so at most 1 of its other spaces are mines. Oh, that's even better then. It's not worse than I thought, it's better. So at most 1 of all 3 of these are mines to finish this 2. Which means this 2 has to have a mine here. And we can click this space because we developed an exactly 1 here somehow or other. Good. Now this 1 and this 2, put a mine here. And can we do this at most 1? No. Yeah, because we found the mine. It's 1 of these 2, and therefore it can't be this 1. Now, if there's exactly 1 here, and exactly 1 here for this 2, the second mine for this 2 goes here. There are exactly 2 here, which means 1 here. How did I come up with exactly 2 here? That seems important to remember. I think this is actually not giving me anything I don't already have, looking at this again. I'm probably supposed to work more up this way now, but let's just double check there's nothing weird going on here. We have one of these two for this 3, which means one of these two, which we already wrote down. Which means one of these two, which we also already wrote down. It means one of these two. One of these two. Yeah, which means one of these 3. Well, okay, I mean, what about this area? There's 1 here, right? So that means 2 here. And isn't this 3 sort of bothered? Because, well, he's only necessarily touching 1 from this side, I guess. The shape of the mines in this area has changed, but I think we draw the same conclusion when crossing this bridge, right? There's 1 here, therefore 2 here of these 3. Oh, maybe that helps with this 3, though? You know what, let's just erase everything. It's getting a bit messy and some of it's outdated. There's 1 here, therefore 2 here. So in particular, that means at least 1 of these 2, which means at most 1 here. And at least 1 here. So this is what we had before. It also, though, means at least 1 of these 2. Doesn't help at all. It just means at most 2 of these. How long has this mine been here? Can we do something with that? Because if we have 1 here and 1 here... No, it's been there for ages. Yeah. There's exactly 1 there. Exactly 1 here. I mean, I'm just sort of redriving all the stuff I just erased, but I think that's like kind of not the end of the world because it draws my attention back to areas that I might have forgotten to look at. If we have 1 of these, we have 1 of these, and we have 1 of these, and we have 2 of these. We furthermore have exactly 1 of these, exactly 1 of these, exactly 1 of these, and exactly 1 of these. And also up here, 1 of these, 1 of these, 1 of these, 1 of these. I have 1 of these 3, then there's 1 here. And that's 1 here, which I already knew. Well, I mean, I have things like that there's at least one of these two, which is not so helpful looking. But it does mean there's at most one here for this too. And so this 3 needs to fit 2 mines at least into this square, and this square. Oh, that's cool. I think that's important. Yeah, if there's at most one here, let me reprove that there's at most one here because I think that matters. This 3, just sort of by definition, has to have at least one of these two because it has 3 mines and only 4 neighbors, so any pair has at least one. That means for this 2, there's at most one up here. And so for this 3, it can maybe put 1 mine in this area, but it needs to put at least 2 here, right? Which means in particular that there's at least one of these 3. And so this 2... Wait, is that not useful? I thought that was going to be useful. I thought I was going to prove an at most about that too. But knowing there's at least one of those actually doesn't seem to help much. Okay, let's try it again just in case I proved something wrong. I would really like for that to be the case, but I don't think I did. There's at least one there. There's at most one there. This 3 has at least 2 here. Which means this 2 has at least one of these 2 squares. Yeah, at least one of these 2 squares. So there's in fact at most one of all 3 of these. But that doesn't help. I need an at least one over there. I don't like this. At most one of those 3. That just sucks. If I could, I mean, like, I know also at least one of these. You know, and of course, even sort of more powerfully, I know exactly 2 of these, but we've been over that and it doesn't really go anywhere. Maybe it's time to argue about total mine count. It doesn't look like it. But now that I look at the D's, actually, there aren't that many on the board left, right? I know there's 1 here and 1 here, which makes 3 remaining D's out of the 4 left on the board to be mines. And I think I know that only one of these 2 is a mine, right? And that would mean that this and this are? Yes, that should be a good step forward. Let's prove that. Boy, if only I hadn't erased everything, huh? We have 1 here, which means 1 here. I don't know, I feel like that's the wrong step to start proving about these 2. Maybe the fact that I have one here and therefore one here is more important? Yeah, in particular, if there's one here, that means at most one of these two, which means at least one of these two. At least one. That's not so helpful, though. Can I prove exactly one? I would appreciate that a great deal. Oh, I don't think I can. But the D's do seem like the most promising approach at the moment. I got one there. Which, of course, means one here. There's one of these. And one of these. All right, maybe I can make a parity argument about all of this somehow. There's one of those, one of those, one of these, one of these. One of these. If I want to make conclusions about these two spaces, it has to be based on looking at hints, at clues that include both of these spaces. And those are these twos. And this is the one we have the most information about right now. Sadly, though, the only thing I can really say about it is at least one of these. Sorry, exactly one of these sort of diagonally opposed mines. But, you know, if we can carry on from here, maybe we can get somewhere. Like if we had an exactly one relationship between this and some other mine space, which we sort of do here. I must admit, it doesn't look very hopeful, though. Ugh. So, I guess what I want to do is assume that these are both mines and reach a contradiction, because I think they can't be, but I haven't proven it. But if I could, then I could say these are both mines. So what happens if I do that? We need no mine there. We need no mines here or here or here. This has to be a mine. This area looks okay. This one means no mine there. We put a mine there. And we need one here for this one and this two. And nothing there. Darn. That seems totally possible. I wonder, what about B's? Because like, it seems like we don't quite have what we need on these D's yet. And there's 6 B's, and there's kind of a lot of B's, but we do have a lot of restraints on them. We know there's 1 there, and 2 here. I don't remember how we concluded that, but we did. And at least 1 here. That's 4. At least one here is 5. But I can't show that either one of these two is the 6th. I can say at most one of the two of them is a mine. But I don't see that being very useful. There's no way I have anything about A's. There's just so many of them, right? I guess I'll have a look. There's exactly one here. Exactly one here. Exactly one here. At least 2 here. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? It's not bad. I can only say at most one of these two, sadly. I can't say at least, which would be more useful at the moment. What about these 3? It would be cool if I could show that 2 of them had to be mines, but I don't think I can do that. Maybe I can, coming through here, I guess? If there's one of these, there are 2 of this whole area. Well, this line here gives you 2 different answers, right? One is that there's exactly 2 here. And at least one of those is touching this 3. Maybe both are. That's kind of weird. Yeah, because that gives us at most 1 here. Is that true? There's 1 here and at least 1 down here. Yes, there's at most 1 of all these 3. Now that's not helping me find the A's. If you put at most and at least in the same group, you're not going to find very much out most of the time. But maybe this means something? The last kind of desperate thing I could try would be combining color clues. We've done that once or twice in the past. There's so much still to do in this puzzle that I'm a little bit skeptical that it would produce much in the way of results. Most 1 here, so there's at least 2 in this area, but that doesn't necessarily have to touch anything, right? It might be none of these 2 or both of them. It might be none of these 2 or both. Well, it can't be none of these 2, actually. Oh. Is that interesting? No, because we're combining like at most and at least again. We have at least 1 of these 2. which means at most 1 in this whole area. Oh, maybe that is useful. No, it's at most 2 in this area, right, which is not useful. I have at least one of these two. I think we knew that before, but from this 2 and 1 working together means at most 1 of these 3. Oh, is that interesting? I don't think so. I think it just gives me at least 1 of these 2, which I already had. Did I already try looking at C's? It seems like impossible that I have something to do with C's. But I guess I'll try. I know there's 1 of them here. I know there's another one here. I know there's 1 or 2 in this area. So I guess at least 1. I know there's 1 of them here. I know there are... Actually, this is not a useful marker, I don't think. Let's not do it that way. I know there are exactly 2 of them here. There's a total of 8. We found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 so far. There's at least a 6th there. And I can't say at least a 7th here because it could be this in both of these, I think. So I don't seem to have C's right now. Well, if we're gonna work on pairing together colors, then we should look at which colors have the most interaction with each other. It seems like DC and AB are common color pairs, right? We don't have a lot of BC or BD. We have a little. Or AC. Or AD. So if we were going to work on color pairs, like DC would be 1 to work on. The problem is there are 13 of those fucking mines. Yeah, that's going to be really hard. But okay, we'll give it a try. There are 3 ABs here. 3 more here. This is going to be tough. 1 here. 2 here. 1 here. And 1 here. And 1 here, right? We can count all of those in relative safety and without having to do anything very hard. So how many is that? 3, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12. And we're looking at A's and B's combined, which have a count of 13 right now. So we did learn something interesting from that, which is that of the 3 remaining A's and B's, which are here, no, the 4 remaining A's and B's, which are here and here. Only, well, exactly one of them is a mine, right? Which is a pretty small number. But the problem is it's not really connected to any clues that I can do anything with. I can't... Right? Could I have found a different covering of the A's and B's that would include this mine? It wouldn't even help if I had, right? Yeah, and I can't, like, okay, I know there's at least, or exactly, I think, 2 here. I think exactly 2. But they could both be consumed by the 3 here, so it's not necessarily anything new. It doesn't, like, prove this is a mine. So it's kind of cool. We proved one of these 4 is a mine. Okay. What if we looked at C's and D's? There are 2 here. Boy, that kind of sucks. There's 1 here and 2 more here. And at least 1 here. And 1 here. 2 here. 2 here. 1, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, and there's 2 more somewhere. But they're really hard to pin down. Is it possible that, like, we can actually do things like BD? It doesn't look like there's many overlaps, but maybe that's not what you need to do reasoning like this, right? We know there's 1 here. At least 1 here. Yeah, this is going to be a nightmare. At least 1 here. 1 here. At least 1 of all these. And that's about all I can do on BD, right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow. That's a very small number. Actually, I think it was 7, because I think we know there are two here. If I count... Well, but then I can't count the D, so... Okay, well, let's try then guessing that... Oh, hang on, bring back my pencil. That this is a mine. Because I think that that does some pretty exciting things to... Well, if we could disprove it, it would be cool, but it's really hard to disprove. So we have 1 here and 1 here. And we need 2 more D's, and so that's 1 here and 1 here. These are the main things we didn't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would mean exactly 1 here. It would mean exactly 1 here, which we already knew, I guess. Yeah, that doesn't really prove anything, I don't think. there's one of these, which means one of these, and I keep wanting that to mean that this is a mine for this 2, but that's not true. It could be here. All right, so maybe what I should do is like start guessing over here. Like say this was the mine. Does that lead to a contradiction? I think I've done this before and it doesn't. But I'm going to try all 3 that this could be and see if any of them are impossible. So I'm sort of out of other ideas. This seems fine, so I can't prove that this isn't a mine. How about this? That's going to be the same, basically, isn't it? Well, no, not really, I guess. Well, yeah, we put a mine there. Yeah, it's definitely going to be different. I don't know that it'll be usefully different, but it'll be different. This 2's finished, this 2 needs a mine. Yeah, that seems fine. I feel like there's some more powerful calculus here that would allow me to analyze and see what the best area to work on right now is. Right, like I noticed these parity things we were talking about before. And maybe there's some argument similar to those that lets me work out what to look at next. But this doesn't seem too surprising. It seems like they're all possible. Now, I really should have been tracking them by corners so that I could say, oh, this space is always safe no matter what, or this is always a mine. I don't think there were any such spaces, but again, I'm like pretty out of ideas here, so I'm going to give that a try. Was this was incorrect. That's supposed to be a mine. Well, wait a minute. I did prove something here, didn't I? Well, okay, we'll finish doing it by corners, but I think in each of the 3 scenarios I tried, exactly one of these was a mine, not both. Which was something I wanted to prove earlier. Right, so that's one possibility. What if we said this is a mine? Well, then none of these are. This has to be. And this 2 has here and here, so this can't be. Oh, no. In this universe, both of these are mines, right? Am I crazy? I made this a mine, so these aren't. But this is, and... Ah, this isn't, right? Yeah, okay, this is and this isn't. So... Yeah, this is... So it is possible for them to both be mines. That's too bad. Okay. Yeah, this is looking familiar. So either of these 2 has very similar influences on most of the puzzle, right? A lot of these are the same. If I choose either of these, the only things that differ is these 3, which is kind of weird. And if I choose this to be the mine this 1 is attached to, this 1 needs a mine there. And this 2 is finished. This 2 also finished, right? Because it has top left here and here. So this 2 only has this top left, so it has to go there. This 1, we need to go there, and we're not going there. And I think these all work out to be opposites, right? Yeah. So there's no space that in all of those universes is safe or all unsafe. So a guess there doesn't really lead us anywhere. I'm a bit defeated, to be honest. This last puzzle is a tricky one. Wait, I have a thought. I have one mine here, right? And that means I have one mine here. Very simple. Simple stuff. So this 3, it can only have, at most, one mine in this area, which means it needs at least 2 in this area. And that finishes the 2, so it can't have more than 2. It has to have, in fact, exactly 2. And this can't be a mine. Okay, well, it took me a while to get there. But so now if I have one of these, I must have, for this 2, one of these. This 3 needs its second mine there. And we're off and running again. Not sure for how long, but it's definitely an improvement. This 1's given us something. We have a mine here and a mine here. So this 3's last mine is there. This 2 and this 1, we have a mine here, therefore that's the second mine for that area. These 2 1s, nothing there. Okay, well, that was a cool little step forward. Maybe we've now got some help on mine counts. I think we might. Yes, we do. We have the bees now. So we know there's 1 here, and we proved before there are 2 here. So the rest of the bees are safe. But let's go reprove that because it's kind of an important step. We have 1 here, which means 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 2 here. And this 1 says 1 there. So in fact, the rest of the bees are safe. This 2 and this 1, we have a mine here. Yeah. I was just a little surprised to see zeros pop up in those places, even though it's correct. Wanted to double check. This 1 has only 1 neighbor, it's there. And since there have to be 2 mines in this area, and there's only 1 space left, it must be that one. Okay. Well, what now? Oh, we figured out the D's now, right? Yeah. If there's 1 here and 1 here, there must be 1 here. And maybe that helps me resolve the C's a bit. Because getting 1 here gives me 1 of these 2. And it also gives me 1 of these 2. Yes, that's where I'm meant to go. I have 1 of these, therefore 1 of these. So for this 2, having 1 here, it must have 1 of these 3. Oh, no, that doesn't help. Oh, I almost made another stupid fallacious argument. I thought that finished off this 1, but it doesn't. It might be the minus here. Oh, I also thought, well, no, I guess that's just the same thing. It finished off that 1. Okay. There's still 6 C's, huh? 2 there, 1 there. At least 1 here. That's 4. 5. But I can't find the 6th. Wait. Now I can do something over here. I think. Oh, I shouldn't have erased that, but that's okay. I remember what was important. There's 1 mine here, which means 1 mine here. We've had that for ages. But now that we have these Ds, there's 1 there and therefore 1 here. So the mine in this bottom area can't be this one. Now this one and this one, mine here, therefore not there. This 1 clears up which? Mine there. That's a 0. That's a mine. This is a 0. Okay, look at that. There's only 1 D left. Only 8 mines left, guys. We're so close. I think we can do total A plus B count. I think we're going to find that this is not a mine. Because there are 3 here and 1 here of the A's and B's. I thought it was going to be harder than that, but it's actually easy. There you go. That's how we prove this isn't a mine. Now this 3 next to this 1 needs 2 of its mines over here. Okay. Yes, now we can do C's. There's 1 here and 1 here, so this is not a mine. Boy, I was stuck for a while on noticing what was going on up here, trying all kinds of other ways to get going. I just missed that, like, not exactly basic, but, you know, it's a technique we've applied many times. I just didn't see it happening up there. And solved this one without a mistaken click, right? Oh, what's this? Oh, and I'm not allowed in here yet, I guess, because I still haven't figured all these out. Yeah. What are these? They're like numbers in circles? I don't understand why. I didn't mean to click there. I meant to go back and then click here. Oh, am I going to go back and revisit the puzzles I failed on? I don't know. Probably not. And I don't think I'm going to do the bonus puzzles either. I imagine they're pretty hard, and this series has kind of tired me out, to be honest. I've had fun doing it, but I think I'm done. As anyone who watches this channel knows, I'm not a completionist by any means. I don't mind... Has always been a sound button there? What is... Oh wow. You guys don't have the sound, but it makes a little noise every time I click on something, and a really, like, kind of horrible noise when you click on a mine. Interesting. Well, I'm glad I didn't have that on this whole time. I can't even tell if it's on or off right now. Anyway, just a little diversion from what I meant to be talking about, which was just saying, you know, thanks for watching all the Tametsi. I understand a number of you have started playing it yourselves. Some as a result of watching this video. I hope you're enjoying it. And I hope you enjoyed the series. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.